What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, I felt like I really needed to discuss this topic with you guys because this topic has been going around a lot over the Indianapolis Colts organization in the last 24 hours and the Colts fan base, and it has the fan base all riled up. So I feel like it is my job here to talk about this issue and talk about what to expect, what I know, what I think might happen, things of that nature. So obviously, got to wear the number 53 today because that is who we're going to be talking about, and that is Colts linebacker Shaquille Leonard. So first off, I want to point out the obvious that I'm going to share this screen and show you guys where this all started. This all started with a tweet that was put out by Cameron Wolf of the NFL Network, and he put out a tweet yesterday talking about Shaquille Leonard, okay? And this is what the tweet had posted. Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard watched practice in street clothes as he recovers from June back surgery. I should know this. I was at practice, so I did see him in those clothes. I'm told there is no set return timetable, as that has remained the thing. But this is where it gets people. But per source, they do expect him back at some point this year. 17-game season. They'll need him, but won't rush him back. So that tweet was responsible for getting the Colts fan base all riled up. Not because anything else has changed, but the wording of that tweet got the fan base riled up because the message has not changed ever since Shaquille made it back to camp, and even through the offseason when he got the surgery in June. The Colts' stance on this has not changed. It has not changed the fact that they are not setting a timetable back because, for one, they don't absolutely know for a fact when that will be. Okay. But the whole point of the quoting of the some point has caused fans, including myself at times, to wonder, does that mean, oh, he's not going to be back for camp at all? Does that mean he's not going to be back for like the first week of the season? Is he not going to be back for several weeks in the season? It has caused people to make assumptions that it is much more dramatic than what it actually is. Okay, and I've even seen some of Colts Nation asking for the Colts to trade Shaquille Leonard over this. And one name being Roquan Smith of the Chicago Bears, who obviously today was denied an extension and asked people, or wasn't denied an extension, but him and the GM of the Bears are not in close favor with each other. And Roquan has requested a trade out of Chicago because he does not feel comfortable with the contract situation. So people have been saying that it's time to trade Leonard for some weird reason for Roquan Smith. Now, it's hilarious that people would even assume that. For one, Chris Ballard's not doing that. Second, even if he wanted to, that would be a bad trade. Roquan Smith is not the same ball player that Darius Leonard is, or Shaquille Leonard, I'm sorry. Shaq Leonard is a phenom. He is the best off-ball linebacker in the NFL. Roquan is one of them, but he is not elite like Shaquille Leonard is. So the trade talk of this, it's not happening, okay? So I'm not even going to entertain it anymore. But here's the thing. So I think that us as Colts fans are trying right now to understand where Shaq Leonard is at right now in his rehab process. Okay, so I think I saw a tweet or a post today. This was from Stephen Holder of ESPN. He posted something on ESPN today, breaking down with a little bit more clarity of what exactly is going on, okay, with Shaq Leonard, okay? And I feel like this was important because for someone like me too, who was probably in the same boat as what a lot of you Colts fans were, okay? I was in the same boat from before, okay? But right here, right now, this report that Stephen Holder put out helped bring a little bit more light to the idea of what was already being said, okay? Just sometimes we just hear from the wrong people, but Stephen, who's very close to the situation, wrote this down. So I'm going to share what he posted today on ESPN, and I encourage all of you to check it out if you want to see it again. So hopefully you guys can see this. Some clarity on the status of Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard. The team isn't putting a timetable on his return from surgery because currently the issue centers on him rebuilding overall strength and strength in his calf, specifically after an inactive spring and summer. So we all remembered, right? We remember the we remembered the inactivity in the spring because of his ankle, right? I mean, people were talking about that. And then the back issue started flaring up throughout the spring and then into the summer, and they had to take action. So what that insinuates is, and we'll go further. The key thing to know, this is normal based on the team's expectations. From all the indicators, the problem is solved, which is what matters most. His status for week 1 cannot yet be determined, but do not rule him out. So first off, thank you to Stephen Holder for posting that. So what does this mean? It means, guys, that the reason we haven't seen Leonard yet is because he's still getting his strength back. He's still getting his strength back throughout not only his ankle and his lower body, but throughout his entire body. Because when you have a back injury, that can affect you in a lot of different ways. Okay, so this is good news because it's a clarifying issue that people are wondering, oh, is he still rehabbing it? Is he like still hurt? Is it like this and that? No, what is being talked about is that the problem that they used the surgery for has been fixed. Just ultimately, he has to get strength back in his body to be ready to play. And right now, he's just not at that moment. Now, what does that mean for the timetable? I don't know. Will he be back in like 2 or 3 weeks? Will he be back in a month? We don't know. The NFL season is still a month away. So I'm not insanely worried about it at this moment. Again, we don't know. It could be a couple weeks into the season. It could be when the season starts. I don't know where he stands at on it. We know that Shaquille Leonard is good enough of a player that he does not need a ton of time in this system to be able to learn it and get acquainted to it. We know that's not the issue. We just think just ultimately is how long is it going to take him to get his strength back? That is where we stand here on this issue. And everyone knows this. You can't play football if you're not in physical shape. You cannot get on that field and put them pads on and go up against these grown men if you're not close to 100% or in some way capable of doing it. Now, I will say this. I did go to practice Sunday. And if anyone has watched Lawrence Owens' Twitter over the last day as well, that he posted a video of Shaquille Leonard bouncing around a little bit, maybe dancing a little bit, getting his body moving a little bit. It's a little different than what we have seen from before, right? He was showing a little bit more pep in his step over the last few days than what we had been seeing. Take that as you wish. Take that as you wish. But at the end of the day, it is a good sign. So what I think we as Colts fans need to remind ourselves is that I think we put ourselves in this situation because when the Colts immediately said no timetable, we as Colts fans, we've heard that a lot, right? We've heard that a lot over the last few years, right? We heard it from Andrew Luck. We've heard it from Braden Smith. We have heard it from other guys as well. This is a very common thing. And this is something that the Colts do a lot when they don't want to give anything out about anyone. They just say no timetable, right? So we as fans are expected to make our own assumptions on what that means. And a lot of us, including myself and Lawrence and a few other guys in the Colts content world, stated that we thought this would not be something very severe. We thought it would be something where he might be back by this next week, right? Well, that was our fault. That was fans' fault. That was everyone's fault who made that assumption. And now we're getting mad at the idea of it because our assumption was wrong. I think what we just need to do here is we need to take a step back and understand the clarity of this, that he needs to get his strength back. And once he gets the strength back, then he'll be good and ready to go. And I think that won't be too much longer, honestly. I really don't believe so. But I think it's important that we continue to allow Shaquille Leonard to rest and get the strength that he needs, because obviously we need a fully healthy Shaquille Leonard out on the field instead of what we've been getting before in a 70 or 75% Shaquille Leonard. Okay, we know a 75% Shaquille Leonard can still do some serious damage, but we want to see Shaquille Leonard healthy. We want to see him at his best. And we have to be patient for Shaquille Leonard to come back. Now, granted, if he decides to miss the first couple weeks of the season, you would hope he comes back by week 3, right? Because that's the Colts home opener against Kansas City, right? The first 2 weeks of the season, the Colts are facing the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. From what we have seen in camp so far, we feel that this defense is good enough as it currently stands to be able to beat those two teams as it sits without Shaquille Leonard. But when you're facing these better teams coming up into the middle of the season or even earlier in the season, like Kansas City and a few others, you're going to need Shaquille Leonard out there. So that is why, to me, I don't think the Colts are trying too hard to remind people where he is, because one, you don't want to give opponents a advantage of thinking that Shaquille's not going to be in there when he's not. You just need to sit back, you need to wait, and when you know definitively that he is ready to go, Leonard's going to be back on that field for Sundays. So obviously, guys, we will keep you updated on more of this news as it comes along. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully this video gave you guys just a little bit more clarity on where they stand. It's not an issue of his back or his ankle being hurt still. It is a simple issue of getting his strength back. And how long that will take, I'm not sure at this point, but it is going to take some time. So we will keep you guys updated as it goes. But thank you guys again so much for the continued support. Let me know your thoughts on this. And as always, guys, go Colts.